And unfortunately, it seems like based on a lot of comments, people don't think that far ahead past a certain point. A lot of people say, well, if your EMP hits your vehicle and you're the only one driving, then good luck getting through roads and this and that. But again, it goes back to mobility. If you have a vehicle that is capable of hitting camp trails and roads and things like that, then you have no problem hitting the median and just driving a shoulder for miles until you can get past a jam of traffic. Um, if you work in the city and you live in the suburbs or rural area, you're going to want to get home and you're going to have to traverse over curbs, over many different things that you try to get over. And so sometimes having a little bit of lift and a larger tire will help you get through that situation. And even if the gas stations are down, being a mechanic, pretty much all fuel tanks these days are all plastic. It's really easy to get fuel out of a plastic tank.
Sure.
'Cause siphoning doesn't really work anymore because of
Right, right.
the vacuum systems with gas tanks.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny you say that because in one of my books I wrote a series called The Survivalist. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it's a 12-book adventure series about a post-pandemic. And that's one of the first things he does is he goes to abandoned cars and drains the gas tanks to try and keep himself fueled up as he travels across the country. So yeah, absolutely right. One thing I'll point out about EMP and vehicles too, since I know that's a focus of yours, it could well be that a person is driving down the road and an EMP event occurs. Now, keep in mind, you're not going to hear it. You're likely not going to see it, okay, because it's so far up in the atmosphere, right? It's maybe 300 miles up, all right? So this thing's going to detonate, and unless it's nighttime, you're not even going to see a flash or anything. It's just things might just stop working, right? Think your car just stops and stalls, and other cars are stalling. In an event where multiple things are happening around you on a road like that, it might be an indication of an electromagnetic event, right? You would want to steer safely off the road, of course, and even if your car has died, it may well be possible for you to restart it. It could be that your car has just shut down and it's able to be cleared and restarted. So I always tell people, get to safety, shut it off, restart it, see if it'll restart. If it won't, it may be worth trying to disconnect the battery, reconnect to kind of clear it as best you can. I know not all cars you can do that with, but some you can. You can clear it, reconnect it, and it may then come back up because you may just be in a fault state in the vehicle. And so it could be, you have a little bit of room there to maybe recover. Don't give up right away on the vehicle. Spend a little bit of time seeing if you can get it going. Because I'm in your opinion, is having wheels and some mobility is, might make the difference of surviving this event or not surviving this event because it gives you the way of navigating yourself back home where at least a lot of people say, I'm going to bug out. Well, an EMP is an event that's difficult to bug out from because it may have affected large regions of the country and you have no idea which way to go until you sort of assess the situation, right? Your best bet is to be back at your home base where you have all these supplies all around you, right? You have a whole house full of supplies and then figure out where do I need to go and where do I go and how do I get there, right? That kind
Yeah.
of,
Well, that's one thing. Part of my contingency is that I do have one of your Faraday bags with a ham radio in it,
yeah.
and I haven't yet programmed all of the repeaters locally to my area. But if you had to, you still have to grab that radio or whatever that you may be able to, because you're not sure what's going on, and you have to get to higher ground so that you can get better line of sight depending on kind of radio that you have, so that you can kind of figure out what's going on. You can hear the chatter of what's going on through radios, more information that people have. Because if your cell phone works, if the TV doesn't work, if the internet doesn't work, how are you going to find information to know, okay,
Right.
this area is affected, but the area that's not affected that people can evac to or whatever is in this location. So being able to bring up communications, which I have a lot of family that's in the military, is paramount to your next step once you've kind of got home, got to your safe place, and got out of the chaos in order to actually think straight so that you can kind of figure out how to keep your family safe and what's your next move.
Right. Yeah, I agree.